Okay, let's be real for a second. Have you ever found yourself rooting for the villain? Or feeling that strange pull towards a story that's both, kind of terrifying and deeply romantic? If you're nodding along right now, you are so not alone. Today, we are diving deep into the evolution of the dark romance genre, that wild world where love and fear collide. We're going to look at how these stories have seriously grown up, what makes for truly irresistible chemistry, and how even the most gothic of tales can teach us something really profound about human connection. So let's do a little time travel, shall we? I want you to picture it. It's the 2010s. Are you huddled under your covers? The only light in the room is your phone screen, and you're just frantically scrolling through the latest chapter of some mafia romance on Wattpad? Whether you're smiling with a bit of nostalgia right now or you're just curious, your answer is the perfect jumping-off point for where we're headed today. Because, and I mean this, the dark romance genre has gone through a huge transformation in the last decade. Seriously, it's had a complete and total glow-up. We've moved from stories that were all about the thrill and the tension to something deeper, something that hits us on a much more emotional level. Readers today, we want more than just a bad boy with a heart of gold, right? We want complex characters, we want genuine connection, and we want a story that feels real, even when it's set in a completely fantastical world. And this right here, this is the absolute heart of that shift. In the past, dark romance was often just about that adrenaline rush, the danger, the forbidden love, the whole shebang. But now we're craving more. We want to see a real connection between the characters, one that's built on more than just physical attraction and high stakes. We want to watch them grow and evolve, and we want to feel like we're right there with them on that journey. So what does that actually look like on the page? How do authors pull that off, building that kind of chemistry? To really get into the nitty-gritty, we're going to look at a fantastic case study, author Vivi Paige's modern dark romance, His Little Red. This book is an absolute masterclass in creating chemistry that feels earned and incredibly real. So here it is, His Little Red, a modern retelling of the classic fairy tale. But let's be super clear, this is not your grandmother's Little Red Riding Hood. Nope. Scarlet is a fierce, independent woman who is not afraid to stand up for herself. And Will, he's a man totally torn between his loyalty to his dangerous family and his deep-down desire for a different life. Their story is this perfect mix of danger, passion, and most importantly, a whole lot of heart. Paige's secret weapon in this book, honestly, is her ability to create characters that just feel so incredibly real. They're not just tropes, They're complex, they're flawed, they're deeply human. Take their banter, for instance. It's not just witty for the sake of being witty. It's like a window into their souls. Through all that playful teasing and their little inside jokes, you see a genuine connection forming, one built on actual trust and mutual respect. And the pacing? It's this amazing slow burn that feels like tending a garden or mastering a favorite hobby. It takes time, but oh, the payoff is so worth it. And this brings us to such a crucial lesson, captured perfectly by author Guinevere Atlas, who said this right after reading His Little Red. Even in the darkest stories, chemistry needs to breathe. That idea of letting humanity and even a little bit of lightness exist right alongside all that tension was a direct influence on her own work. So let's see how she took that lesson and applied it to a much darker world. All right, we're going to shift gears now and take a look at Guinevere Atlas's own novel, Before Gloria Regali. It's the perfect example of how these exact same principles of human connection can ground a story in a completely different and, frankly, far more terrifying genre. Just one look at the cover of Before Gloria Regali tells you everything you need to know. It's dark, it's atmospheric, it's steeped in history. We are not in a modern city anymore, not by a long shot. We're in 16th century Italy, a world of shadows, secrets, and ancient evils. This is a story about a young woman who has to fight for her very soul in a world that wants to just consume her, and it's about the power of connection to overcome even the darkest of forces. Now, this book is a perfect example of something called Gothic philosophy horror. It's a genre that asks some really big questions about life, death, and what it even means to be human. It makes you think about the systems we all live in, schools, governments, you name it, and question whether they're really there to protect us. It's a genre that is not afraid to get dark, but it's also full of hope. It's about finding your own way in a world that's constantly trying to tell you who you should be. And Rosette's story is just one of unimaginable loss. Her father was taken from her, her best friend was stolen from her, and she's been left to carry this immense weight of their deaths. But she is not a victim. she is a survivor. Her only real tether to her past is the ghost of her friend Thomas, and their bond is kept alive through these small shared rituals, like tracing the patterns on his favorite teacup. Her quest for revenge is so dangerous, but it's also a journey of self-discovery. So just look at this contrast. You have Scarlett and Will navigating a modern world of crime with witty banter and a slow-burn trust. Then you have Rosette and Apollo literally trapped in a 16th century institutional horror surrounded by betrayal and constant life-or-death stakes. We're talking two completely different worlds, two totally different dynamics, and yet the same core principle applies. For that chemistry to feel real, it has to be grounded in these moments of genuine, breathable humanity. And the stakes could not be higher. This is what Thomas, Rosette's ghostly protector, thinks the second he sees Apollo, who is the son of the man who destroyed their lives. Anyone but the trap. It just perfectly captures this impossible conflict. Apollo is the living embodiment of the enemy. Any connection to him feels like a betrayal, like a mortal danger to Rosette's mission and her very soul. So how on earth do you build chemistry in a situation like that? Well, this is the moment. This is where everything changes for Rosette and Apollo. Right in the middle of a gruesome, horrifying anatomy lesson, they find this single moment of connection, a moment of shared humanity. He catches her when she falls. It's such a small thing, right? A simple act of kindness, but it's enough to completely change the course of their lives. It shows us that even in the absolute darkest of times, there's always a glimmer of hope, a spark of light that can guide us. So that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? Why are we so drawn to these stories? Why do we find comfort in the darkness? I think it goes way deeper than just enjoying a certain trope or a particular aesthetic. For so many of us, especially those of us who are neurodivergent, the world can feel like a really overwhelming place. We're constantly navigating these intense emotions and sensory inputs, and we're often expected to fit into systems that just weren't designed for us. And that's exactly why these stories are so important. They show us we're not alone. They give our intense feelings a voice, and they help us to feel truly seen. Okay, pause. Time for a little interactive break. Let's do a quick vibe check. Thinking about all these incredible stories, which archetype speaks to you more? Are you the reluctant protector? You know, the one who gets dragged into all the danger just to protect someone, kind of like Will or Apollo? Or are you the girl who walks into danger, head held high, ready for anything, like our girls Scarlett and Rosette? You gotta let me know. Drop it in the comments below. I am so curious to see what you all think. Ultimately, this is the most crucial point. At its very best, dark romance isn't really about the darkness at all. It's about the search for light within it. It's about characters fighting for their own autonomy, for the right to choose, and for real human connection, even when the odds feel absolutely, completely impossible. I want to leave you with one last thought. A line from Before Gloria Regali that has just stuck with me ever since I read it. The dead keep better promises than the living. It's this haunting reminder that the past is always with us, that the people we've lost are never truly gone. And it's a testament to the power of connection to transcend even death itself. Thank you so much for joining me on this little journey through the world of dark romance. I really hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have.